You're listening to India Bio Speaks, your one-stop resource for science, news, and careers. Welcome, everybody, to our show on crafting your career in science. We thought to do a couple of bonus episodes in the informational interviews with various science professionals. And in this one, we will feature a profession that I'm sure is very close to all our hearts, that of a teacher. Today, we are chatting with Pragya Verma. She's a researcher turned a science educator. She still manages to find ways to do her science, but with high school students. Pragya, it's a pleasure to have you in this informational interview chat today.
Thanks a lot, Lakshmi. It's a pleasure to be here at India Bioscience.
Pragya, can you describe your career path from being a researcher at the bench to that of being a teacher?
I started with my master's and PhD from University of Texas at Dallas, and I specialized in cellular and molecular biology. My research during my master's and PhD both involved studying the molecular mechanisms involved in the process of neurodegeneration that happens in Alzheimer's and the Parkinson's disease. So, during my early years of research, I was very clear that I wanted to come back to India and I wanted to teach children. Now, how I was going to do it, I was not very clear what kids I'm going to teach, what their age would be, or how I would go about it. But the only thing which was very clear in my mind was that I wanted to teach kids in a way that they get encouraged to take up research at a much more early age. Because research usually is introduced to kids after they've passed out class 12th, and at the college level is when research comes into play. But if you're able to inculcate the thought of research into kids at a much more earlier age, it would be better. So that's what I thought of, that if I could bring about the thought of research into the school curriculum. So it all started when I came back to India from Texas. I went to my alma mater in New Delhi and I started giving talks about how important research is in life to the kids who were studying there. Meanwhile, there was a new branch which was coming up of my school, which dealt with a more application-based curriculum for kids to do projects and research at a much more younger age of about 10, 12. So I took up a full-time job here, and this is the school I'm presently teaching in, and it's DPS International, which is located in south of Delhi. And that's where I teach these kids of different age groups.
So that sounds great, Pragya. I think early intervention is a great idea, and to introduce children to an application-based learning at an early age is a fantastic thing. And I would want to know, how early is this? So which classes and which subjects do you teach?
So Lakshmi, I basically teach science to class 5, because class 5 is basically an age group of 10 to 11. And there is no differentiation between the different branches of science. So I teach a core subject, science, to class 5. And I also teach biology to higher classes, that is class 10 and class 11, and even to kids of class 9. So the entire curriculum, whether it is for younger kids or it is for the elder ones in class 10th and class 11th, it's application based, where we link every concept in science to experimentation so that they can take up and understand research as something which is a part of their curriculum. The freedom and the encouragement from the school, the entire ecosystem, has actually helped me not only teach kids the passion which I always wanted to take up, but also it's helped me publish a lot of papers with these kids. So there is one paper I recently published with class 12th kids, where they've taken up a research project and worked on a completely unique idea. So because of this, the children are able to take up their project at a much more earlier age, have a logical conclusion, and understand a very simple concept of writing a research paper. There are 2 publications which I'm presently working on, and we are trying to wrap it up by the end of next year. if everything goes great.
Pragya, this does sound very exciting. You know, in one of my informational interviews with a researcher, an interesting and perhaps a very important point of view arose. You know, students generally, and especially in India, view success in a certain way. Specifically, they equate it with grades. And this becomes a real challenge when they enter a research ecosystem where failures are widely encountered. In fact, I've often heard that success in research is measured by your ability to embrace failures. So, how does one go about bringing a paradigm shift in moving from theory to application based learning, which really involves now rewiring of some very deep rooted, if I may say so, subconscious ideas and concepts?
So Lakshmi, this is a very good and really critical question which we all deal with when we enter into the school ecosystem. So basically here in this system, the kids learn to take up a project at a very early age, as I previously mentioned, at the age of about 10 to 11. And they try and work behind the idea of the project. Now, not towards the outcome of the project. So they discover at a very early age that science is not about getting an end result, but understanding the different concepts, understanding the different procedures, the knowledge which was associated with the idea which had been existing in the world. And in the end, it is not the result which they focus on. That is through experience, they understand that it is the journey which is more important than the outcome. Also, during this process, they learn to troubleshoot and navigate through the entire problem, and they learn a lot of new things during this process. In fact, we've had projects, Lakshmi, where kids started with a completely different idea. And after 1 year, when they wrapped up the entire project, which had to be sent for the international competition, it was completely opposite of a theory or the hypothesis which we had thought about in the starting. So of course, in this process, these kids don't feel bad about it, but they love to learn about the concept associated with the entire scientific procedure which is happening. And because it's starting at a much more younger age, it goes into them and it takes deep roots into them and remains with them throughout their life of how interesting this entire procedure is.
Pragya, that's very beautifully stated. I do agree with you. I think what comes through experience does take deep roots in them, and the earlier it is, the better. So, what are your roles and responsibilities and core deliverables and expectations of being a school teacher?
So, in this school system, Lakshmi, there's nothing as a core deliverable which we actually decide at the starting of the year. But mainly my core responsibility as a teacher, as we all know, is teaching the kids that specific subject, especially science as well as biology. But the only thing which is different in this kind of curriculum is to be able to design activities and experiments for these kids so that they can learn to apply science and at the same time associate with these principles in a very casual and lovely manner. So every month, at the starting of every month, we have these set of international projects which are released onto the school, and kids are encouraged to take up these projects. So these projects basically deal with ideas which are said to be out of box ideas, varying in different topics or diverse topics like environment, statistics, and basic concepts in biology. During this process, I usually encourage the kids to choose a particular topic on a particular specific area or a particular field, and then they have to think of a new idea associated with the topic. And this idea has to be something unique which is happening, or something which has happened but adding onto an idea onto that. So during this process, I act as a mentor, guiding them through the entire process of this project as well as the experimentation. So I'll give you a simple example. We come up with simple experiments like, for example, the concept of osmosis or diffusion is explained in a very simple manner by doing a walking water experiment. We call it a walking water experiment, where we place 3 glass and colored water can move from one glass to another just with the help of tissue paper. A recent publication which I had with the class 12th kids dealt with making cutlery from stubble. We were able to make spoons, we were able to make plates. So Delhi is actually known to be affected by a very high amount of pollution during the winter times, because the areas around Delhi do a lot of stubble burning to clear their crop for the next crop to come in. So as a result of which, the kids were really worried because the school used to get shut down during this process. So they went around these places, got a lot of stubble, and we were able to recycle stubble to make cutlery. And we use this cutlery and supply this cutlery in the school canteens when obviously the COVID times were not happening. An 11th grade student of mine recently has been working on bioplastic. In fact, from the past 2 years, he's been trying to troubleshoot different ways how to make bioplastic at home. He started with agar, and finally he's been able to work on something called as wheat grass, and has been able to come up with simple forms of bioplastic. Recently, just 2 days back, he was able to mold the bioplastic created into small coin case pouches. So these are the few publications which we are actually working on. Another thing which whole of this experiment process and the application procedure helps these kids to come up is that they come from a very good financial background. So kids at the age of about 13 to 14 really want to move towards research, and some of them recently have converted their basement into proper scientific laboratories with all the scientific equipment like microscopes and simple chemicals which are not very dangerous. Some of the kids are motivated enough to be able to teach the underprivileged, which actually come around the school after the school hours, and spread the same idea of research and encouraging application based reading in these kids at a much more early age, like I was trying to do to the kids I was trying to teach in this school. So, it's not just about understanding that how important research, but they're also able to send out a message to the world around. And that's what I wanted kids to understand at a much more early age. So the children are able to grasp and retain concepts. And in fact, like we all say that if you see a video, you're able to retain a concept much more better. So if you do the experiment, these kids link up to these ideas and principles of science very nicely. Also, these children, I encourage these kids to take up a lot of poster making competitions so that they can go around in the universities and do poster presentations. So, kids at a much more younger age, if they're encouraged to get into the scientific mode of doing poster presentation in a proper scientific scenario, it really helps them to understand how science goes around in the world and how things work around. The same thing for the reason I wanted to work on publishing a paper with these kids, because the entire procedure of writing a paper, doing a literature review, the word literature review was something which came up as a new thing to these kids. But in this process, they understand how research and science goes around in this entire world.
Pragya, this is really fantastic. I can only imagine the level of enthusiasm children can bring to the laboratory, and poster presentations are always a lot of fun. And perhaps you are working with them at the right intellectual age at which they can even start these activities.
So that's very right, Lakshmi. It's like the make or the break age for them. This is the time when children grasp concepts at a much more faster pace. And, they can very well decide at this age whether they love this thing or they really hate this thing. So, they have to understand that science is all about loving the subject and not like an academic subject, which is a burden on them. I've seen remarkable changes in students where they have been so hooked to the subject and they've applied and secured admission in one of the best institutions. In fact, I've had kids when I joined this place who thought that science was all about rote learning. And they moved on to taking up research specifically at their undergraduate level, just because they were able to understand that science was all about experimentation and trying to explore. It's like a new territory which is open to them to explore completely new things. So I talked about a lot of poster presentations which are done. Usually these poster presentations were done for undergraduate and second year college students. But we tried to work with these universities and inculcate the idea of poster presentation in kids of class 11th and 12th. And more than teaching them about the poster presentation, the kids felt so encouraged because they were able to present in front of working scientists. So the word scientist for these kids is so encouraging, and it's affected them in such a way that they think that they've achieved everything in the world, that the work they were doing has been presented in front of the scientific community. We all know, when we talk about what kids want to be when they are kids, a lot of kids say, I want to be a researcher, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a scientist. So when they're exposed to these kind of conferences and these kind of people, they learn to love the subject much more, thinking that their thing which they always wanted to do as a kid has been fulfilled in life.
Pragya, this sounds really forward-looking and progressive, and it seems to be aligned with the new education policy that has been tabled recently. Listeners, we'll take a bit of a break at this point, and we will return back to our conversation with Pragya in part 2 of this informational interview. And in this, we will talk about a day in the life of a school educator, and also valuable skills that one might need to acquire in order to become a successful school educator. So do stay tuned and join us back in part 2 of our informational interview with Pragya Verma. If you're passionate about scientific research, communication, outreach, and science education as we are, please connect and engage with us, and here are some ways that you can do so.
Visit our website at www.indiabioscience.org.
Subscribe to our newsletters.
Write for us and join our online discussion forum at discuss.indiabioscience.org.
Advertise jobs, grants and events in the life sciences on our website.
And feel free to contact us anytime at hello@indiabioscience.org.
Until next time, enjoy your science and stay engaged to enable change.